Every episode starts with a
Yes.
question, which is what makes you feel the most vulnerable?
Well, I think today just really opening up and talking about my childhood and my journey um, and that struggle. I definitely felt very vulnerable uh, sharing that background.
I would say one, I don't feel like I'm in a safe space. When
Yeah.
it's not a safe space, that throws everything off for me. My energy, all of the things. The unknown makes me a little daunted, to be honest. I have my vision, I have my dreams, I have my aspirations, but I don't know, what God's gonna say for 2026. I could go in a completely different direction. So the unknown makes me a little vulnerable.
Hello, new friends. I am so excited to meet both of you. I feel like there's so much that I want to learn. I love when I have guests on that I've never met before because it just makes the episode that much more real and raw, and we're just getting to know each other kind of thing. But first, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate both of your time. Um, and the way that I like to jump in is I really like to give my guests the opportunity to share in their own words a little bit about who they are, and also about their brand. But since there's two of you, I thought maybe we'll start with who you are and just a little bit about yourself. And then I'm sure that both of you are quite used to speaking to your brand together, so we can do that afterwards. Do you want to start, Cynthia? Okay, cool.
Hi, Melinda. It's me, your girl, Cynthia Bailey. Most of you know me from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm your
Yes.
partner, Dana Hill. We started a skincare line together called Glowissima. And I couldn't be more excited to talk to you about it, Melinda. It is two amazing products. We'll get into it. We'll get all into it. But other than that, yeah, it's you, Cynthia, the model, the actress, the reality star, the podcaster, and now the skincare lady.
There we go. Multi hyphenate. I was like, when is she going to mention all of the things that she does? That's incredible. Thank you. Thank you. And Dana, a little bit about yourself, what you've done in the past, what you do now, in addition to Glowissima, maybe.
Hi, I'm Dana Hill Robinson. Thank you so much for having us here today, Melinda. I am super excited to be here with my partner in crime, Cynthia Bailey. Longtime friends, over 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so a little bit about myself. So first of all, I will be 60 in 2 months.
You look
Yeah.
extraordinary.
Thank you, thank you,
Beautiful.
thank you. And I've had quite a journey these past, I don't know how many years since I entered the workforce. My first job was at Vogue magazine in the editorial department. I was an assistant fashion editor back in the 90s.
So iconic.
Yes. Actually, after that, I went to Harper's Bazaar, assisted the fashion director there. I have that base, that fashion base. And, while working on sets, being able to see the artistry of makeup artists like Francois Nars and,
Hmm.
working with photographers like the Peter Lindberghs and Patrick Demarcheliers was just really part of just my foundation in the fashion and beauty world. And yeah, I always had an interest in beauty. My journey led me to, after working on the editorial side, to working in artist development at Arista Records. Then later went into doing PR and marketing for fashion companies. And
Wow.
then from there, started my own company and consulted with various beauty, jewelry, all kinds of different companies, which later led to me founding a beauty subscription box called Cocotique.
I
Uh,
saw that. It looks amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. We are 12 years in, believe it or
Wow.
not, with Cocotique.
But y'all
And
speak the language of self-care.
absolutely, it's all about self care
I
with
love it.
Cocotique, all about self care. And so, funny enough, my journey with Cocotique really is what helped start Glowissima because one of my brand partners from Cocotique ended up becoming our business partners
Mm,
to bring Glowissima to the world.
gotcha.
So it's all been interconnected, and just my whole journey has kind of played out that way. My job at Vogue came from someone I had met when I was in college, when I was a receptionist at Calvin Klein, who later turned out to, he was assisting Tom Ford at Gucci. And while he was at Calvin Klein, Grace Coddington was the fashion director there. And so he recommended me to her. And that's how that all came about. So it's all been these twists and turns and these, things where, I'm sorry, I'm just talking and talking.
No, I'm like, I love this so much. I was a fashion girly first, so I'm so here for your background. That's incredible. And it's so interesting how every little step of our life, every little job, every decision that we make somehow feeds into what we end up building. And at the time, you might not recognize that you're already on the journey to where you want to go. And it's so cool how all of those little moments brought you to here with Cynthia.
Yeah.
But how did you two meet? You
Wow.
30 years of friendship.
Yeah, we actually met at a well-known hair salon. Was it Warren
Okay.
Comey in New York? Warren Comey. I was there with another supermodel, Miss Beverly Pill, who was like a real supermodel. Um, we were there together and we ran into Dana there and we just like chatted it up. And Dana and I just kind of clicked. We just hit it off. And from there, we became, bestie westies ourselves. And it's been, I keep saying over 30 years at this point. I've lost count, right?
It's really interesting how, you know, being friends with someone and going through these decades together and just all the little twists and turns in our journey. And it's just beautiful that, throughout all of that, here we are now, being able to come together on a project and bring this baby to life. And, it just feels good because it's someone who I love and who I adore and trust. And I wouldn't want to be doing this with anybody else. So
Oh, for sure. There was no one, that wasn't even an option. It was with Dana, just, it probably was not going to happen. And what I love about our friendship, outside the fact that we've been friends forever, is the fact that, normally people don't want to do business with friends or business with family.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Well, it could go either way. It could be really good or
Mhm.
yeah,
really bad. So with that
Yeah.
said, when Dana approached me about Glowissima, I was very transparent about my place as a partner and, how I could be more of an asset and make myself available in situations that move the needle and what her strong points would be. And basically, long story short, she does most of the heavy lifting. She's on there with our investors, the Zooms, packaging details. She kind of has to do a lot of the harder stuff. And then I get to be a part of like marketing and promotion and, social media, all of those things. And just meet and greets and, all the stuff where my celebrity can, you know, help us out a little bit. So,
Yeah, but that transparency is so important, like making sure you both are straight up with one another about like, here's what I'm comfortable with. Here's what I can give. Here's what I have the bandwidth for.
mhm.
Because otherwise you go into it and then everything's like, oh, I thought that it was this, this, and this, but it can't be. But that's so incredible that you're able to work together in that capacity. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't always work out. Not everyone can. And I think it says a lot about you as individuals, but also about your friendship and your relationship. And I know we touched on self-care, but I think what really stuck out to me when I started to learn a little bit more about Glowissima was the ritual aspect to it. I think you said something along the lines of how it nurtures both skin and spirit.
Mm.
And that really, I was like, oh, they're speaking my language. This is going to be a good conversation. So, can you guys tell me just a little bit about the Glowissima ceremony, like how that came to fruition, how you concepted it, what it means to you?
Sure. So, we look at it as taking a mindful approach to beauty.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so the ritual is about honoring yourself
Mhm.
and really taking those moments to celebrate and using affirmations to create this ritual
Mm.
with your skincare regimen. And for people that think that beauty is just what you put on your skin or what's on the outside, it's really what comes from within.
Mhm.
And so Glowissima is about creating that ritual to help you to create that beauty from within and to show on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like most things in life, um, if you are invested spiritually, emotionally, in something, I think you're always going to get a better result in a lot of ways. I think that for us with our skincare, like we were just very intentional about everything about it being energetically just super positive, um, super healing and nurturing just in terms of the language, just how we even presented, and then the actual products themselves. Like when they tell you there's nothing like one of my favorite things to do is to put that miracle elixir oil on my face. I put it
Mhm.
all over everywhere, and it literally just makes me I just love everything about it. It just spiritually takes me to a happy place. I feel good. I feel like I'm doing something good for my skin. Um, I just love it.
Yeah, I could
And even,
tell. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that even the color of the bottle was intentional to create joy.
Mhm.
Look at that beautiful pink on your counters. It's not this stale, just white, black aesthetic. It's really something
Soft
to
and
help,
calming.
yes, and uplift your spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the way that you both speak to Glowissima, I knew that you would be a great fit for this podcast because so much of what we talk about here is how beauty relates to our well being and our wellness, and how it is about the energy. It's about what's happening inside of you, that
Mm.
inner work that we do that makes us glow on the outside,
Yes.
or the source of what's pushing us to want to use a product and the importance behind that as it relates to mental health. And so I really love that you aren't first and foremost talking about, this is going to make your skin this, this, and this. And of
Mhm.
course, your formulas are incredible and they will do those things.
Mhm.
But you're talking about the intention behind it and the energy behind it because,
Mhm.
especially in such a saturated beauty space,
Mhm.
that's what I think really resonates and what people can really connect to. Oftentimes, and I know you both know this well, like beauty founders, you become a celebrity, like whether you had celebrity before or not, but you're kind of pushed into the public eye as a founder these days. That wasn't always the case. And I think when you're in the beauty industry, there's a lot of pressures around beauty standards and what you're supposed to look like or how you're supposed to present yourselves. And we get really caught up in those conversations and forget that where it stems from is that stillness that you can take for yourself and sit on your couch and completely tune out while you're watching Real Housewives or whatever it might be. Ordering a donut from Cynthia's brother's donut shop. Shout out. What's its name?
Which I have
It's called
to.
it's called Donuts and Fries. It's here in Atlanta, and my brother's name
Yeah.
is Thomas. Yes.
I'm gonna have to go in person, Cynthia, because I haven't seen him for a minute. So I'm gonna have to go in
No, you gotta
person.
go. You gotta go. You gotta go.
I'll make a stop next time I'm in Atlanta for sure.
There you go.
Donuts and fries sounds right up my alley.
All about the carbs,
Right.
Lily.
Yes, 100%. Um, okay, well, I want to rewind us a little bit. I'm going to take it back for a minute because I think there's so much that happens before success.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people could sit here listening to both of you speak, like jaw drop, just like, oh my gosh, like Vogue, Real Housewives, like all of these incredible experiences that you've had. But there's so much more that came before that.
Yeah.
And so I really like to dig into who you were as a child, what your upbringing was like. What were those defining moments as you were coming up that really created the drive in you to find the success that you've had? And I know this is a little more of an individual question, so maybe we'll just start with Cynthia first.
Okay. I am originally from a small town in Alabama called Tuscumbia, Alabama. It's actually only known for like being the birthplace of Helen Keller.
Oh my gosh, small
Yeah,
town girl.
yeah, and I think the house is still there. It's a tourist attraction, and now it's like, a lot of people know me from being from there as well. So that was where it kind of all started for me. And I was kind of
Just
curious,
you and Helen Keller.
you know.
I love it.
Well, listen, you know what? The woman was amazing, considered everything that all of the different obstacles that were obviously working against her. Like, and she went on to be able to overcome so much. So I'd like to take,
As I'm sure you have as well.
yes, I really have. I was going to say, growing up in a small town in Alabama, I was always ambitious. I always knew there was a whole bigger world out there from what I was used to seeing, being a small town country girl. But I just didn't know if I belonged in it. And I definitely didn't know how to get there. So, as God and alignment and destiny all works together, I ended up being homecoming queen of my high school. The
Oh my gosh.
first African American homecoming queen, predominantly white high school, so that was a
Okay.
big deal. And I went on from there to be in my first and only pageant that I've ever been in. It was like a homecoming queen pageant. And I went to represent my high school. And I didn't win or place in the pageant, but one of the judges was a model scout from Wilhelmina Models in New York. And
Ah.
I was the only one she approached about a modeling contract, so I didn't win, but I kinda won in the end. From there, I went on to move to New York City eventually and start my modeling career. I always knew I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I knew I was meant to like, I was just a big dreamer, and I just was like,
Hmm.
"Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go for it." I didn't know if it was as soon as I started modeling, I was like, "If this doesn't work out, maybe I'll be a big celebrity makeup artist." Like, that was starting
Mm-hmm.
thing. So I always had a plan B and a plan C. But
No wonder your makeup looks so good.
well, and I
You're like,
say
I
it
did it
myself.
myself today. I was
Yeah.
like,
No,
it
no,
looks
I can
gorgeous.
literally this could be my second job. And to be
Love it.
honest, I want to it's ironic that we're talking to you because I think one of the things in 2026 that I'm gonna start doing that I have time to start doing is when I do my makeup, I really want to video it and show people that I'm doing it and give them tips and stuff
Yeah.
because I'm really actually really good. So I was like,
It's
you know what? I
amazing.
should video myself doing this and share that with my fans because a lot of times people don't realize like I came up with like Tyra and Naomi and those ladies, they all know how to do their makeup really well. Iman,
Mm-hmm.
we were kind of limited back then. A lot of times they didn't have all of the products that maybe were right for our skin or whatever. So we always had to have a little emergency makeup kit with us. So we would get
Mm-hmm.
our makeup done and then we would excuse ourselves to go to the bathroom and get in that bathroom and fix it all up, before we got in front of the cameras. But, we've come a long way since then. And
Thank
for the most
goodness.
part, you know, I'm a small town girl who just was not afraid to dream, basically. And I've been dreaming ever since. And I'm an older small town girl now, but I'm still, dreaming. I'm still super ambitious. There's still so much that I want to do.
Was that just always in you, like the dreamer in you? Like I feel like, being from such a small town and then also a predominantly white town where you are kind of singled out. Did you always have that? It seems like there would be so many perceived
Yeah.
obstacles.
Yeah. And there were a lot of obstacles from money to all of it. Like, I don't know how I ended up on this podcast with you guys when I really look all the way back on my life because it could have went a completely different direction. I could
I don't know how I ended up on this podcast with both of you. I'm like, we're all just doing the damn thing.
That's all we're doing. We're just doing the damn thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes in life it's bigger than you. Like I always felt like, I wasn't like I didn't have all the answers. I wasn't the smartest. I wasn't the prettiest. I wasn't the most fearless. I was just the right amount of what I needed to be to walk through the door to see what would happen. And I guess you could say I'm pretty fearless in that way. I did the same thing when I entered the reality TV world, which is a very scary world to jump into.
Can't
And then
even
I started
imagine.
acting, and that's it's not easy being an actress. It's really not easy. All of the things. So I guess just I feel like I had a calling to do something else, and
Yeah.
I just didn't know what it was, but I knew every door that I walked through opened up a bigger door, and it just doors have been opening ever since because I feel like I'm definitely on the right path of whatever it is God has for me. And
Mm.
I'm still trying to see where it all ends up, but I love my journey. It's been exciting. This part of my life is super exciting because as a beauty brand, people are always asking me, what do you do for your skin? How do you look this age? Dana was very transparent about her age. She's about to be 60. I am 58 and I will be 59 next year. So with that said, we're like living testimonies of what, how age doesn't really define you. This Glowissima is more about longevity than trying to reverse age. Like, it's a luxury and an honor to actually get older. So just look as
Mhm.
good and feel as good as you can.
I'm just getting to know you, but I feel that you come off very authentic. Your energy feels very authentic, and I think when you put yourself out there like you always have and through reality TV, authenticity is so important because people can really kind of read between the lines these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was did you always have the authenticity? Because I think to find true authenticity, you have to have a certain level of self-confidence. For me, I wasn't always 100% authentic. I went through a lot of people pleasing.
Yeah.
I kind of crafted myself into what I needed to be, and I'm sure your modeling experience played a role in that because they truly do model like craft you into exactly what they want you to be, right?
Well, I consider myself a bit of a chameleon. I really can be whatever I need to be. And that's like just the hustle mentality as well. It's
Yeah,
like I can really get in where I fit in for sure. When I think about that.
but
And
still being true to yourself.
yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, I've always just been me. Like when I was a model, nobody expected me to be anything else other than Cynthia Bailey. So I was. So I carried that into the reality TV when I started Real Housewives of Atlanta because I mean, who else am I going to be if it's not myself? And I like who I am. So why not just be me? And I've always just felt like, you know what, as long as I'm being authentic, as long as I'm being real, whoever's with me is going to be with me and whoever's not is just not. It just is what it is. But at the end of the day, realness and truth defends itself. So I've always
Yes.
tried to keep it above.
I just got into reality TV in the last like couple of years. I didn't watch a ton before then, and admittedly, I have not watched many of the Real Housewives series.
Mhm.
There are so many,
Yeah. A lot of them.
and I haven't gotten there yet. So,
You
when I
really need to
learned about
focus on
Glowissima,
Atlanta.
yeah, I'll focus on Atlanta for sure first. When I was learning about Glowissima and I saw that you were on the show, I asked my Real Housewife network and I said, "What do you all think about Miss Cynthia Bailey?" Like, because this podcast, I haven't had a reality TV show guest on before, and it was like everyone was just like, "Oh, she's a real one. She's so real. Have her on. She's super authentic." Like, we love her. So, whatever you're doing, whatever energy you're putting out into the work that you do, it is being received. And I can't wait to watch.
Oh, thank you so much. It's hard to
Yeah,
look at yourself and I just everything I see when I look at myself is all the things I could be doing better. You know,
I know.
so that
We do that, don't we?
we do. Like we don't give
Yeah,
ourselves enough grace. We honestly don't
yeah.
because I'm already feeling bad that we had to cancel one podcast because of technical difficulties. I have so many other things happening today. Like I'm always like super focused and super trying to get to the next thing. And I feel like that's why I love how you open up with that question, like how do we turn it all off? Because it's easier said than done, honestly. I feel like I take a lot of my work to bed. I wake up with it, I go to bed with it. It's like, yeah, a lot.
But you know what I love is the fact that you just shared that. Like the fact that you shared you had to cancel a podcast today. That's weighing on your mind right now as you're those are the type of like those are the type of things that are so much more meaningful, powerful, and connecting us than having the perfect technical situation or whatever it might be. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what matters most.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. Dana, you are up. You had a minute to think.
So, I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
yes, born and raised. But I have a very interesting start to my life. My mother is from Indonesia, and my father met her in Germany while he was in the Air Force,
Okay.
and got married, had my brother and I, but had a, were divorced when I was 3. And at the time, my brother and I were living she lives in the Netherlands. Indonesia used to be a colony of the Netherlands, and so my family from Indonesia moved to the Netherlands when my mom was around 12 years old. And so um, we were with my mom, my brother and I, and I may get emotional right now.
Okay, there's been a lot of tears on this podcast.
Yeah. And so my father, they were fighting, between each other as to who was going to get custody of us. And initially, my father had agreed to give custody to my mom. I'm sorry, whenever I tell the story, I get
Mhm.
Understandably so.
so. My father came to the Netherlands, and uh, he was actually there. He was there, and um, he was planning on going back to the States, but didn't tell my mother that he was going to take us with him.
Mm.
And so
Wow.
my brother was in school, and he went and got my brother out of school and came by where we were living and basically took me and kidnapped us and brought us back to the States.
Wow.
My mother fought for many years to get us back, but because we were born in America and we were American citizens at that time, she wasn't able to get us back. And so while she was here in the States, and she wasn't able to work because she's not an American citizen. She didn't speak English percent. So, she really struggled to get us back, but she wasn't able to get us back. And so we stayed in the States. I'm sorry.
No, please don't be sorry. I so appreciate you sharing this part of your story. There are so many children of immigrants struggling right now and who have had similar or different but similar experience and feelings around coming to the United States
Mhm.
and the tug and pull of that. And your vulnerability is going to help a lot of people. And so I appreciate that. And you cry just as much as you want. Usually I would hand you tissues right now. I'm like, here's a tissue.
So, you know,
But I never accept an apology for crying.
Mhm.
It's a sign of strength that you're able to share that.
Thank you. Thank you. And so with that said, growing up, I always had to adjust to life without my mother,
Yeah.
my grandmother, and just everything to me.
Was that your father's mother?
My father's mother, yes.
And were you aware of the situation at the time growing up?
No, I didn't know exactly. I actually did not find out exactly what happened until just maybe 6 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow. When I was saying that thing about children of immigrants,
Mhm.
it's because my father's story came to mind.
Hmm.
And now I'm gonna cry. um,
All right. Do I need to get some tissues?
I didn't know I would need. Oh wait, I have a. I have a. Oh no, that's it.
yeah, I mean, just very, very short synopsis of it, but my father immigrated from Cuba, and when he came, his mom eventually came after him, and it wasn't until his mother died when I was about 7 years old that he found out that his mom was keeping his father from coming to the United States to join them. And so, yeah, when you started to tell this story, I just like felt this like chill through my body, and maybe this is why. But it's just wild how many people have this going on behind the scenes, and we don't always talk about these things, and so much of this pain is what builds us into who we are.
Absolutely.
So
And I
you
think,
had your oh, sorry, go ahead.
sorry, and I think it's what's, created my backbone and made me stronger in so many ways to have to
Absolutely.
deal with that at such a young age.
Yeah.
Uh, my mother, she came to visit a couple times, but there was a family member who wasn't as welcoming to her. So, for about probably the age 6 until 12, I didn't see my mom. We spoke on the phone, letters and all of that, but I didn't see her. And then she came over when I was 12. And from there, our relationship blossomed. As I was older.
Wow.
From then, I was allowed to go visit her and go back and see her. And in the summer, I would spend the summers, my brother and I would spend the summer with her. And the summer before I was actually uh, going into high school, I told her I didn't want to come back to the States. And so she got a lawyer and was trying to get custody. I started ninth grade at an international school in the Netherlands. And then I would say like three-quarters of the way, I got homesick for the
Yeah.
States and my friends, and I decided to come back. But I did tell my father I do come back, that I didn't want to live with him. I wanted to live with my grandmother because my father had remarried and my stepmother wasn't very kind to me.
Oh man. It's like to not have that maternal presence in your life, and then the one that you do have not be meeting you with kindness is just gosh, to get hit down twice.
Mm.
Yeah. I can relate.
Innocent. And so like, I'm sorry, this is just, I've never like told, this on a forum
On
like.
a public platform, oh my gosh, I commend you. I I somehow have been the catalyst for multiple people now to share this kind of vulnerability for the first time, and it's really an honor, so thank you.
To be honest, and gonna ask, I'm
Yeah.
gonna share.
Yeah. That's how.
And it's me too, what's one of the key things too growing up, because I, grew up with my brother, and not having my mom around. I was a tomboy growing up. I was such a boy. I was, you know, playing baseball, football, all of that. And no one, they see me now, they says there's no way that you can be. But those summers, when I turned 12, and that's also, I believe too, where my love of beauty started, was spending that time, with my mom. My mom was, She loves all the lotions and potions, and
Mhm.
uh, she used like these Indonesian hair oils and these herbal little pills for your skin and all of these
Mhm.
things. I fell in love with all of that. I love going over to Europe because of the different, you know, bubble baths and all the different products they have that we don't have over here. So that was always like a treat for me. And so that was a big, big part of, I think, shaping me
Mhm.
those summers with my mom. Uh,
Yeah.
and like I said, I came back to the States and finished high school here in Pittsburgh. And also that time spent in Europe, uh, I was introduced to, all types of different music and I was in high school, I was a punk rocker.
I love it.
I had a safety pin in my ear,
My God, I didn't know
Yes.
that.
with ripped jeans, all of that. I was telling a friend of mine how I was a huge fan of the Clash. And actually, I was in 10th grade and they were performing at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. And my friend and I, we were both like, punk rockers. Somehow, some way, we got backstage and met the Clash. And I still have like they signed my ticket. I have my T-shirt, signed all of that. But here's the kicker. So I love Paul Simon, who's a bass player. Like I love the bass. And so I asked him, I said, if I give you my address, could we be pen pals? It's
Stop.
crazy, right? I have 2 postcards from Paul Simonon.
That's so cool.
Oh,
Yep. And I was looking for them not too long ago to show somebody, and I found them. Like, here they are. I had the ticket sign,
right.
I have the postcards and all of that. So,
Says
yeah,
something about you as a kid. Or, I mean, you were in high school?
I was in high school and I did not
Yeah.
care. I mean, there were no other Black kids in high school that was about punk rock. And I was at my high school, well, through actually elementary and, going through into high school, I was in the gifted program. So
Mhm.
the classes were very small. Um, so there weren't that many people in my classes, and there weren't that many Black students in my classes either. So,
Yeah, I
that was
imagine.
kind of, you know, my world.
So, and both of you kind of share that.
Mhm.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
really interesting as I'm listening today, and I've realized how even more we have in common. It's so crazy, like all the way from like the beginning. That's why it's so fun to always go back. I
Mhm.
could definitely resonate even with the dad taking on a new wife and that relationship being great. Like literally the same thing happened to me. So yeah.
Well, there's a reason why the universe often brings us together, even if we don't know it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Kindred souls
Yeah.
find each other.
It's interesting because we've been knowing each other, been friends for like we said over 30 years. And what I love about this friendship, which is another reason why I didn't hesitate when it came to doing business with Dana. Dana has always been my friend that um she always made it easy to be friends with her. It was never any real drama. It was always like, we just meet each other where we are. It's not like a needy friendship. I can't have needy friendships anymore. Like only one person gets to need me or two, my mom and my daughter. Everybody else has to get in where they fit in. Like I don't have time to be like, oh my God, did I call Dana back? She's gonna be mad at me if I don't call her right back. Like those days are done. I've expired
Yeah.
from all of that. But, just going back to Dana, it's beautiful to be able to have this type of friendship that we've had over all these years, and then to be able to finally do a passion project together at this ripe, good old age that we're in right now. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Like, I know that this is something we'll be working on, for the rest, so many amazing memories to be made behind this project.
Absolutely. And I feel the same way because, sometimes, you have people in your life that are draining.
Mm,
And can just suck the energy out of you, just suck the energy out of
Yeah.
you. And
Both me
like,
and Cynthia went,
Yeah.
it's
Yes. Oh my,
like we got a few recently, it seems like.
I can't. I could not. Oof.
and like Cynthia said, with us, it's just it's never been that. It's not the type of relationship where, we have to speak to each other every day. Or,
Mm-mm.
there are times we didn't speak to each other for a long time.
Yeah.
I know it's busy and you have to respect that, and it's not personal. It's not about, people's time being your time. You have to allow people to live their lives and, have the understanding that, they're still your dear friend
Yeah.
and it's like family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like family. It's
Yeah.
just, you know, yeah, it's just that real
Mm-hmm.
that bond and respect for each other. I
Yeah.
think that's like the
Respect.
key
Mhm.
thing. Yeah.
I love that. It's your chosen family.
Absolutely.
I think if we're lucky enough, we get both in this life. And it sounds like you both have that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Well, another parallel that I felt in both of your stories was, one, obviously being a minority growing up and being kind of singled out a bit. And
Mm-hmm.
that often impacts our self perception of beauty, especially growing up with beauty standards being so, so far from inclusive for so, so, so long. And so I'm sure that there was a lot that you both had to unlearn in order to get where you are and to be launching your own beauty brand, your own skincare line, and be talking about wellness and self-care for people out there from a place from your heart, which it really seems like that's where it's coming from. So I wonder if there's something specific about beauty that really stands out to you from your coming up, whether it's when you were a child or more recently, that you feel you had to unlearn in order to have the audacity to be where you are today, because it takes audacity to build a brand. It takes
Mm-hmm.
audacity to put yourself out there on a platform like this. And that doesn't come easily. So was there something that you had to unlearn to get to where you are now that kind of sticks out?
Mm. It's a good question.
I mean, I think for me, I think that unlearning the belief that it's beauty is something that you have to earn and that it's
Mm,
conditional, that is based on youth or perfection or comparing yourself to others.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I've really never measured myself on, typical beauty standards, even thought about that. Um, for me, it's about what comes from within and emanating kindness. Um, like if you've ever seen someone that's negative Nelly and just a mean person, they're not beautiful. That
no.
that beauty does not shine from within,
Yeah.
So it's about, you know, like meeting people where they are and having grace for people and being kind. And from that emanates beauty.
Yeah.
That's my take on
Yeah.
it.
I agree. I would say I had to unlearn that self-love, how I felt about myself, the way I look. I had to unlearn that it's not about what other people think about me, it's how I feel about myself. And
Mm,
I had to learn actually that as long as I felt good, I was confident, I was strong, I was focused, that everything else kind of fell into place. Like I had to just take back the power of knowing that I'm in control of me and across the board, period. And whenever I own that, the universe complies. Control of me and across the board, period. And whenever I own that, the universe complies.
It's so true.
yeah, absolutely. I think control is an interesting subject too when it comes to beauty and how we get to control how we look and change how we look.
Mhm.
And embracing that that's okay when
Mhm,
it comes from a place of self-love.
mhm,
And I think that's very much so kind of a message behind Glowissima too, or at least that I perceived was um, the acceptance of self leads to true beauty.
mhm.
But that
Ooh,
hasn't, oh no, you're all good.
I'm sorry.
Oh, good. What was it?
It was the camera, that 4K
Oh,
camera. It fell off the top of the thing.
I was like, is her kitty here?
Oh, do you want to meet my kitty? Oh, she's,
3 of my own. I had to put them in a room because they've been, for whatever reason, they've been real rowdy today.
he was here earlier. He was in the corner jumping up the wall. And he finally, I think he might be upstairs with my husband, but
I
he's,
thought it might have been your cat. I literally had in my back of my head the whole time. I was like, I need to ask Dana about her cat. I'm such a cat lady.
if you want to meet him, I love to bring him on camera.
Yes, yes,
I'll have to
absolutely.
step away and go get him.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll grab one of mine as well. Cynthia, any animals?
No, I'm too
You got
busy.
your hands full.
I had a Pomeranian. His name was Bailey. Had him for a long time. Then I had to give him to my mom. My travels keeps me too busy, to be
That's
honest. And
understandable.
I'm not the kind of person that can like take the dog with me or like I just have I can't do it. I
Yeah,
love the
the
people. I
focus.
love the people they can, but I'm kind of like when I'm focused on something, I have to just be when it's work time, it's work time. I can't like have like a little dating dog with me in the hotel room. It's too much.
Girl, I wish I could bring my cats everywhere with me. I wish cats
Me
were more
too.
like dogs. I would literally have my cat everywhere with me if I could. During the pandemic, I was one of those people. I got a stroller for my cat, and just the girl, because the girl, funny enough, I have 2 boys, 1 girl. The girl is the bravest,
Yeah,
hand down, which we love.
right. Of course, the
Um,
girl is brave.
and I would take her to the park and chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stroller so bad, but my husband will not let me. He said, "You are not taking Kimba out in the stroller." He's like,
What's
I
your
always,
husband's name? I'm going to have a conversation with him.
Scott, he will not let me get a stroller. But at the same time, I'm afraid of taking him out
I
for
get
the
that.
fear of a flea or a tick or something jumping up
Yeah.
on him. I'm afraid of that because
Yeah.
he sleeps in my bed next to me. So
Right.
They're just the best. Animals are the best. I'm glad, Cynthia, that your baby's with your mom. That is
Yes.
nice.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What was I saying? Control. I was talking about control. And it's been just, it kind of came to mind. It's been a theme in my life recently. Just letting go of trying to
Mhm.
control. I'm a Capricorn.
no,
Are you? I'm not
Christmas,
surprised.
Christmas Eve.
I'm not surprised that you are. You give Capricorn energy in a really good way.
Thank you.
But Capricorns, we love to have everything in a to-do list, everything organized,
Yes.
in control. And I think so many people look at success like both of yours and they perceive it as how can I control my circumstances to get there? But you both don't strike me as the types, even though you are a Capricorn, Dana, that you've controlled your way to this success because we all know it's not really possible. So I'm wondering if there was a point in time where that realization happened for you, because for me, it literally happened 2 months ago.
Hmm.
um, usually it's when your life starts to crumble down around you that you recognize that you just have to give into faith, whether it's spiritual or religious. It doesn't have to be, but and just trust that you've proven to yourself that you've done it and that you can do it again and you'll pick yourself back up.
Yeah.
Was there a defining moment like that for either one of you or both
My
of you?
whole, oh,
Well,
go ahead, Cindy.
I'm pretty much a control freak for the most part.
So you're an honorary
I
Capricorn.
am. I am. I'm a Pisces and an honorary
Oh,
Capricorn because I
okay.
definitely like to. I don't even know if I even like to control. I feel like I've just always had to be the one in control, and I don't know if that's
Okay.
oldest child
Mm-hmm.
syndrome or like whatever. I just always felt like I needed that sense of control. However, in my dating life, I'm trying to give it up a little bit more because I am literally the man and the woman. Like I could be both and go like, up, we're going here, we're going there, we're eating this, we're eating that, we're, doing this at this time. And that's not fun. So I've had
No.
to
That's a
kind of sit
survival
back
tactic.
and, at least split it 50-50. If anything, I love when the man has more control because it's like one last thing that I have to think about. But in my business life, I am very organized, very professional. I really want the things that I'm working on, my partnerships to be successful. I have a plan. The big plan is to retire, at least start my retirement process in 5 years. So I'm invested. I'm invested in all the different things that I have going on. And I, I feel comfortable with having a fair amount of control over most things as it regards to me, in terms of everything that I am and what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, I don't know how to do it without being a little bit of a control freak. Like, I don't even know if it's
I feel
possible
you.
because I feel like no one's going to drive the train better than you are if it's your invested interest. And
That's
at best,
true.
you can have a good team that drives the train exactly how you like to drive the train. Because if you drive a different way, I'm like, no, I say we got to drive it this way. So I think it's always good to find your village that understands the importance of not doing their job, but doing their job in a way that makes the boss feel comfortable.
Through
That's
your
very important.
lens.
Because if not, I'm going to go behind you and do it again if I don't feel like and that's just I don't know any other way to be. I'm sure I need help, but I'm very much a control freak.
Well, like anything else in life, it's not this or that. And usually we have to toe a line and create balance. Can't give up total control because, we want to create what we want to create through our vision. And that's so important. But just trusting when it doesn't come to fruition or there's a setback that it's actually a redirect or
Exactly.
something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Dana? Anything come to mind?
Hey, there's been many instances with this business, also with Coco Teak, where things happen. You have your highs, you have your lows, and you wonder how you're going to get through this. And I've learned that most often there are things that happen that you have no control over, and you can't change it. You just have to let go, let God, and just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because you can sit there and stress out about it, and it's not going to help the situation. And so that's one thing I've learned to just let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go. And it's going to work its way. It's going to work out the way it's supposed to.
I mean, gosh, your story of your parents and coming to the United States and how out of control, out of your hands that was to be with your mom or not be with your mom is, I think, a perfect example of what we're talking about here. So you were probably forced to learn it at a really young age.
Yeah, actually, when they say that, it's true. That's very, very true. Yeah, they
Yeah.
just had to learn to be able to flourish, with the circumstances as they were. My mom, she says she's so proud of me that I'm able to achieve so much in my life, even though what happened to me as a child, you know, um, unfortunately, my brother, he was not able to cope with it. And, and became involved in drugs and alcohol to try to, I guess take, because he was much older. So he remembered what happened. I didn't have a recollection or really know what was going on.
Yeah.
Right.
So for him, it was a harder um, situation to deal with. He turned to drugs to deal with it. So
I'm so sorry to hear that. I know sometimes the pain gets too heavy and people have to turn to disembodiment, and that turns into addiction, and it's so scary. And that's just another lesson forced upon you about lack of control, because someone who doesn't choose to accept help or help themselves, you can't force them to. They have to choose that for themselves. And so, Dana, it sounds like you've been schooled on this your whole life, and I'm so sorry that you've had to be, but I see how it has turned you into the person that you are, and the success that you've had is just extraordinary. I mean, both of you both are extraordinary. I so thank you for sharing your stories so vulnerably, and really you received the beauty manifest assignment.
I
You
wanted to
know,
say one thing. I wanted to say one
please,
thing that
please.
um, I think that one of the key things that is so important in being an entrepreneur is being resilient.
Yeah.
And I think that resilience comes from my childhood for me, um, in being able to bounce back, and just keep fighting and keep pushing, uh, no matter what the circumstances are.
And I
But
would say,
also feeling, right?
oh, healing
I'm
is
sorry.
definitely good.
But also feeling,
Feeling.
And
feeling
yes,
through it and
yes.
processing through and giving yourself, because I love resilience so much. And I think resilience is what makes an entrepreneur, right? Because you're going to get knocked down so many times before you can get all the way up. But if you push forward without having some stillness to feel and process,
Yeah.
I think that's when we lose ourselves, and when the energy behind what we're creating gets muddied, and it feels like your energy behind what you're creating is very clear. So
Mhm.
you've created your space to heal.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going
And
to add
Cynthia, I'm
on.
sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to add on to what Dana was saying about one of the key things about being an entrepreneurship. And I would say just not, and it's kind of hard not to do it, but not operating from a place of fear. Like you just have to be fearless. You just have to go into the project like it's going to work. You just have to believe that it's going to work. You have to do the work in order for it to work. You have to make sure your team is tight in order for it to work. And I think that if you're consistent and you are doing the work, then it usually works out. So, with that said, definitely do not operate from a place of fear because it normally it's going to work out if you're doing all of those things. It just is going to work out. So, I think a lot of times people let fear stop them from doing things that they want to do. And I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? It doesn't work out, so what? You know how many times I've tried to do things that didn't work out, but at least I can say I tried, you know what I'm saying? Or I would go back again and do it differently. So, we have to
Mm.
be fearless. We have to be not afraid to live and curate the lives that we want for ourselves from 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 every angle, really, every part of my life. I pretty much have made the life that I want to live for myself from, living on a lake to only at this point in my life doing partnerships that actually mean something to me. Like, okay, I'm a woman of a particular age. I'm very much into the supplements and all the things. So I have a partnership with Omega Excel. I'm very much a health and wellness advocate. I love sharing my platform and using my platform to educate and uplift people, to help people. So we have that part of it. What else did I do? Oh, just even my weight, you know, working and partnering with Weight Watchers just to keep my weight under control because of the whole age thing, the postmenopause thing. My whole body, I feel like in some ways has been hijacked. And I'm just trying to keep it keep it together as best I can. So as a visionary, you cannot live in fear. You just have to let it go and you just have to put yourself out there. Dana and I, when we started this company, I was like, I can't wait until we make one sale. I can't wait for one person to buy it. Like you just start off like not really knowing what's going to happen, but we're here, we did it, and we're thriving. So don't live in fear.
I always say if you can dream it, you can do it.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. You should write like the two of you could write like an affirmations book or something.
I love
Just like
affirmations.
very inspiring. And I love that you're finding parallels between your upbringings and between each other
Mhm.
through sharing these stories as well. I love that.
Santa was like, "This is like therapy." It is, like, I thought we were gonna be talking I didn't know what we were gonna be talking about, but I didn't realize we were gonna actually go a little deeper and have real conversation, so I appreciate that, Melinda. I didn't know what we're gonna do,
Right.
but I'm enjoying this.
I didn't think I'd
No.
be crying. I didn't think I'd be crying over here.
Yeah, you've been crying the whole time. Is what
Look, I have this effect on people.
And Melinda, we haven't gotten into you being a medium. Okay.
Ah, I know.
Tell
Like
me
we
Well,
haven't
about
got
that.
that might be a
I
whole
thought it
other
was like a
conversation
little
because
spiritualness coming from you.
yes.
definitely. I mean, so much of what this podcast is a vehicle for my perception of the podcast and why I'm doing it. It's a vehicle for me to use my intuition and my empathy to help guide conversations to go deeper in an industry that is so focused on the external so we can turn it back in. And that is really my purpose driven work. And the work that I've done in the past studying clairvoyance and mediumship, I did read people for about 8 months, and that was a very few technical issues, you know? They always come for us.
I know, right?
But that's okay. I mean, and honestly, I always keep it in on the podcast too. Anytime anything goes wrong, I'm just like, you know what? I want everyone to feel like they're sitting in the room with us. And that includes
It's
my microphone issues. I was saying about studying clairvoyance and reading people. It was a very compelling experience, but it was something that I wasn't ready to explore any further at the time. It's a lot of responsibility, and I'm a big proponent of we don't know what we don't know. And so with that, I took what I learn and what I love, and I've turned it
in
into this
to
podcast. And that's kind of how I'm channeling it now.
definitely were able to allow us to open up and share and feel comfortable during this
Good.
session. So thank you for that. Cynthia's
I have a
having
really bad
problems.
I
yeah.
know.
While waiting for Cynthia, I'll go find Kimba.
Yes, please.
Let me see if I can get upstairs. Hold on.
Beauty.
Say hi.
Oh my goodness.
Say hi.
Hey, sorry about that. I got kicked off somehow,
Okay. Okay.
but I'm back.
He's
That's
not.
okay. You gave us a moment to have our crazy cat lady conversation.
Yes.
So, yes, this has been wonderful, Melinda.
This has been I know virtual filming it's tough. I was just telling Dana, like, this is totally a test for me and I'm getting acquainted with it. And, when we go deep, it's kind of nice to be in person
Yeah, it
and
is.
be in each other's orbit energetically. But you guys really made this super special in the way that you showed up and shared yourself. So I really appreciate it.